Good morning, good morning, good morning. This is Big Mark coming at you again. You know, I've reached out to many of my colleagues. The pastors are running. I have not seen so many cowards in my life. We're talking about protecting children, women and children. We're talking about pedophilia in the pulpit. And these cats are running for good reasons. Because finding a true man of God is like finding an honest mechanic. It's a needle in a haystack. They running in droves. But I found the man. Because you ain't never alone. Elijah thought he was alone. I found the man, Pastor Victor Hargrove. He ain't scared at all. Pastor Vic, there he is. Hey Vic, how you doing, Pastor?
Doing well. Doing well.
Man, why you think these guys running? Why they running?
Afraid of what people gonna think about them, and I think that a lot of it, my experience from what I've seen, they say they're not about numbers, but it's more about money than people now. To me, that's what I see.
Wow. You know, Hollywood done got their elites, sexual predators, uh, the government. They got gates for sex trafficking. Everybody's they taking this movement, this Me Too movement. Everybody except the Christian church as a whole is staying away from the Me Too movement. What would you say to the colleagues, our colleagues, Pastor Hargrove? What
Uh,
would you say to them?
Simply, God says, "Be in this world. We gotta be in it, but we don't have to be of it. If you're gonna speak the truth, then you stand for the truth. Jesus died for the truth. That's what He expects us to do. Is if you're gonna do this thing, then be prepared for the consequences of whatever God said. He'd never forsake us or leave us."
Sound like David.
King David was a man after God's own heart, but he done something, and he tried to hide. But God sent Nathan to tell him the truth. Now at that point, David had a choice to continue to ignore and bask in that sin, or he could repent it. David repented, but he had to pay the consequences of that sin, but God still never left him. God still
Wow.
respected him for being a man after God's own heart, because he knew how to repent from the heart. A lot of pastors is easier to hide. It's easier to overlook it. Because guess what? You don't have to deal with it then. And I think that the way the world's going now is that it's easier just to accept it and sweep
Wow.
it under the rug, you know. But people aren't in spirit. I can't speak for everybody, but I'm just saying for some of the things I've seen, you know, that they're afraid because they need the numbers. They say it's not about numbers, but it's about the dollar sign. It's more about money than about people. And if you don't care about the people, then this is how this stuff is easy to get swept under the rug. You don't care
Wow.
about something, you don't take care of it.
You know something, you said a mouthful, especially when you liken the leadership under David. There's going to be some consequences, preachers. If you embrace the Me Too movement, some of your bosses, some of your colleagues, folks going to go to jail. But like Pastor Vic said, God's going to be with you through the consequences. David had to suffer through the consequences. The Christian church, we got to suffer through these consequences. But I'm telling you now, you need to either embrace the Me Too movement or the Me Too movement's going to embrace you. It's up to you. Pastor Vic, you got anything else you want to say before we clock out of here?
Just it's time to get real.
Mercy.
It's time to keep it real. Simple as that. It's time to keep it real. If you're gonna say God called you to do it, then do it.
Hey,
Simple as that.
I in with that. And y'all remember, falling is a lot like flying till you hit the ground. So keep your head up. Peace.